City of Atlanta non-professional license, $48.50. Audit, $225. Miscellaneous, $200. Employees' contribution to Social Security, $600 plus. Georgia Department of Labor, $200. And salaries for the employees at the professional registry. The director for the year would be $4,800. Registrar for the 3:30 to 11:32 of duty, $4,260. The night registrar, $4,260. And the registrar that leaves the days off, $4,080. And the registrar for release for holiday, sick leave, and meetings, $3,470. And the total for 1965 is $25,128.99. I move that this budget be approved and placed on file.
Is there discussion? Madam President, I just wondered, you said periodicals. What are we subscribing to now?
This is the American Journal of Nursing, which is just $3, and the ad in the bulletin was $16.25, which gave a total of $20.
We're not Fulton County, no.
This is all that's the Macy's notice here.
And that as an point of information again, now, is that giving our registrars an increase in salary or the same salary? How much increase?
The $10 that was voted in a couple of years ago each year, which goes up until the maximum on the,
Madam President, will that raise the private university's registry dues? We haven't gotten any notice about it. Do we have enough money to operate? And certainly I'm interested in the financial condition.
Ms. Mace didn't mention that specifically when she talked to me about the budget, but this is the proposed budget, and when you make a proposed budget, you do plan on meeting the budget. She did not mention any increase over what you were told previously that possibly there would be an increase, but nothing definite was, decided. But I think that one of the meetings last year, we did say that possibly it would be, but that was not in reference to this particular budget.
We did get information, that the committee said after that we would probably call for an increase, but we haven't received that bad news yet.
Well, Ms. Mason did not mention it in reference to the budget. I think what was mentioned in the meeting before, and in that communication still holds.
We just kind of want to know how to budget ours too.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Thank you so much.
You're not asking for an assessment of $15 in September for private university this year? That was voted
$15 more.
more this year. Are you not asking for that?
I don't believe this has been decided If it becomes necessary, I imagine you'll hear.
I think you get some notice on it and see, but it still holds. I mean, the possibility still holds. But it would be something that would be communicated to the private organization. And Ms. Mason made no particular reference to this in reference to this budget.
Are there any further questions for Susan? Are you ready to adopt the budget for the proposed budget for the district of 65? Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. So thank you. Again, I want to thank you for doing so well on your annual report. In the September issue of the Meter, our agenda at this time calls for a report of the executive secretary. She has several in the meter. I don't know if she wants to add anything at this time or not. Ms. Ashley?
Not a thing. I think you can see that we've been busy. You know we have. We've had 84 meetings. We'd like to tell you that we did send in 6 more members today, making the total 1,105 plus 7 associates. That's still a little less than our quota of the 1,200. We're hoping that each will help to not only reach our 1,200 or more next year and help us promote our programs. One thing I'd like for you to know that we have visited all the health agencies, the hospitals. We've carried out all the activities in the headquarters. The files are up to date, the bookkeeping's up to date. We'd like for you to come down and see us. It's your headquarters, and we welcome you there.
At this time, Ms. Dixon will give you a report of the meeting of the executive board Tuesday night. What took place.
We had a large crowd. We had 7 members absent, and we met at 7:30 and we stayed there till almost 10, so we had a long meeting. And we looked after a lot of business. Reports were given. The board approved the $15 per section in addition to the 10 cents per member for the section's expenses. And the most outstanding thing that we did, and it took up a lot of time, was the bylaws. We will read the bylaws and let you see then the changes that the board made in the amendments that the board made to this. Chairman's not here, is she? On the bylaw committee.
She's in Augusta today. She had to fly too.
How about you read the present bylaws, and then I'll read the proposed detailed fact changes in the minutes. Now, the bylaws cannot be acted on today. It's for your information. They will have to go to GS&A Committee on Bylaws for approval or for review, and then go to the GS&A Executive Board for approval, and they will come back to you for approval in November. The board Tuesday night set November the 19th for our next district meeting, which will be a business meeting, and if the program committee plans anything, we may have something in advance. We don't know just yet what they're going to do. Let me see now.
Article 3, membership. Present bylaws, section 3A. All members and associates of this association shall be nurses registered in Georgia, except as provided in section 4 of this article, who have complied with state registration requirements and are graduates of state accredited school of nursing offering programs of not less than 2 years instruction and clinical practice in hospitals and in other community agencies. The preparation for women must include instruction and practice in medical and surgical nursing of men and women and in obstetrics and pediatric nursing. The preparation for men nurses must include instruction in the care of men in medical, surgical, and urological nursing.
The proposed change for section 3.2, all members and associates shall be nurses who are graduates of state accredited schools of professional nursing, each of whom has been granted a license to practice in Georgia, except as provided in section 6 of this article, as a registered nurse, and does not have a license under revocation for professional misconduct in any state. New under section Article 3, and section 3 is B. A graduate nurse from any foreign country who has been granted a license in any state of the United States and who meets the requirements of this association shall be eligible for membership as or associate status. Now this, the board amended this to read, leaving out who has been granted a license in any state of the United States and the new bylaw will read a graduate nurse from any of the foreign countries who meets the requirements of this association shall be eligible for membership or associate status. D, new, will be members and associates shall be subject to reprimand, censure, suspension, or expulsion by this association for violations of the bylaws of this association. No such action shall be taken against a member or associate until such member or associate shall have been served written specific charges, given a reasonable time to prepare any defense, and afford a full and fair hearing. Suspension and expulsion shall result in suspension and expulsion in the Georgia State Nurses Association and in the American Nurses Association upon the certification thereof. If there is no provision for appeal, the member or associate may have within 30 days after the notification of such action request the executive board to review any question of law and procedure involved therein. Then there's change E and F in this same, it's only a matter of lettering. Article 7, dues.
Section 4, dues for nurses who graduate and who are licensed to practice professional nursing after July 1st and who are admitted to active membership shall be $16.25 per capita, which includes dues of $5.25 to the district, $5 to Georgia State Nurses Association, and $6 to the American Nurses Association.
Section 4, dues for nurses who graduate and who are licensed to practice professional nursing through the first full calendar year and who are admitted to membership shall be $16.25 per capita, which includes dues of $5 to this district, $5 to the Georgia State Nurses Association, and $6.25 to the American Nurses Association.
Article 8, Executive Board, Section 1. The officers, chairman, or organized sections, the presidents of the alumni associations of the School of Nursing in this district, and the chairman of the Nurses Professional Registry Committee of the Georgia State Nurses Association will constitute the Executive Board of this association.
Section 1, the officers and chairman of organized sections of 5th District of the Georgia State Nurses Association shall constitute the executive board of this association.
Article 12, meetings, Section 2. Regular meetings shall be held on the second Thursday in January, March, May, July, and November at the time and place decided upon by the association.
Section 2, regular meetings shall be held on the second Thursday in March, May, and November at the time and place decided on by the association. At the meeting Tuesday night, the board amended this to add January meeting to this, to make it read that the regular meetings will be held on the second Thursday in January, March, May, and November at the time and place decided on by this association. in that was that that the board, revamp this, bringing, instead of D, you read your D, I read my D, that the board made the change.
Address the president.
And D was changed to report of the Committee on Nominations.
Then, report of secretary.
E is appointment of the tellers by the president.
Annual report of the treasurer.
F is the election of officers.
And report on recommendations from executive board.
And this is the address of the president. Then we pick up and renumber according to the action of the board for your agenda for the annual meeting.
Then O was miscellaneous to old business, and it's just changed to unfinished business.
Right.
Article 14, Section 10. The register committee shall be composed of not less than 9 members, the majority of whom shall, well, this is not all. I read it like it is, and you read the correction.
Yes, let me find that now. Yes. The board amended this, that the register committee shall be composed of not less than 9 members, the majority of which shall be private duty nurses.
One of whom shall be the chairman of private duty section. All shall be in good standing in this association and shall be appointed by the executive board. 1/3 of whom shall be appointed each year to serve for a period of 3 years. The chairman shall be a registered professional private duty nurse actively engaged in nursing. The direct authority and legal responsibility for administration of the registry or registry shall rest in the executive board of this association. It shall delegate responsibility and definite duties of management covering the operation of the nurses' professional registry to the committee on registry, which shall be responsible to the executive board for approval of all phases of its operation. The registry committee shall be responsible for monthly reports to the activities of the nurses' professional registry being made in quadruplicate, 2 of which will be sent to GSNA headquarters, 1 copy to be sent to the 5th District headquarters. The 4th copy shall be kept in the files of the nurses' professional registry. Quarterly reports shall be submitted to the American Nurses Association with copies kept in the district headquarters and the registry. The registry committee shall meet monthly and when called by the chairman for transaction of the business of the nurses' professional registry. This committee shall submit a monthly report to the executive board and a written report at regular meetings of this district association as provided by the executive board. These reports to be kept on file in the district office. The registry committee shall submit nominations to the executive board for appointment of the director of registries and her assistant or assistants. Shall outline duties of the registrars and policies of the registry operation to be approved by the executive board and in accordance with the minimum standards approved by the Georgia State Nurses Association. There shall be an advisory committee to the registry committee. The members shall include the director of nursing service of each hospital participant, a member representing the medical profession, and a member representing private duty nurses, to be appointed annually by the executive board. The purpose of this committee shall be to serve in an advisory capacity to the registry committee in meeting problems associated with the effective administration of the nurses' professional registry. The chairman, vice chairman, or representative of the advisory committee shall attend all meetings of the registry committee. Yeah, this one, in section 4 is like it is.
And we have a change that was brought to the board on section 4. that was, a proposed change was to be made, but, the board deleted this, and we will now stay with our old bylaw that we are now using, so there's no change on that. So that brings you up to date with the action of the board.
Do you have copies of these available?
They will be available as they're approved in the proper channels.
They will be published in the meter after we get them back from the state. We'll, send them immediately to the publishers to be distributed. But we can't do it until the state approves it.
And would these be,
Circulated.
voted on by this section?
4:30?
By this district meeting. District meeting ain't no time. But you got the date.
November the 19th.
November the 19th.
4:30.
4:30.
4:30 in this other town.
Madam President, as information on the registry committee, I was just wondering, you said a majority of private duty nurses. Does that not mean that each hospital will have a representative and also individual group, or will that be the vote of whoever the committee wants to put on?
You wanna read that again, Lou?
I think so.
It says appointed by the board of directors.
Says the register committee shall be composed of not less than 9, members.
Suggested done.
The, majority of the board, let me get those. The register committee shall be composed of not less than 9 members, the majority of which shall be private duty nurses, one of whom shall be the chairman of the private duty section. All shall be in good standing in this association and shall be appointed by the executive board, 1/3 of whom shall be appointed each year to serve for a period of 3 years. The chairman shall be a registered professional private duty nurse actively engaged in nursing.
Ms. Dixon, excuse me, I don't mean to be talking all the time, but before, previously, there was 11 members. Now, the chairman, was not a voting member previously unless it was a tie. And the, chairman of the registry committee, if you don't have a representative from the School of Nursing in the hospitals, then the chairman of that, committee maybe say supposed to be Senate. Well, then Emory would not have a representative because the chairman would be the Emory, from Emory. You see, and that would be discriminatory.
May I answer that?
You certainly.
It was felt that the group who called themselves the non-local group haven't been properly represented. This bylaw was rewritten so that this will be a democratic organization.
May I have something to say about this non-local title that we have just sprung up here with in the past few years? I'm what you'd call a non-local nurse according to this. I object to it, and I don't like it. We don't have anywhere in our bylaws for non-local members for a title of this sort. There isn't this sort of title anywhere in anything that you will find other than within the past few years that sprung up in the Nurses Professional Registry here in Atlanta. We are all members of the 5th District Nurses Association. The alumni are not recognized, and I, as an individual nurse, as we were called when I came into the district, I would much prefer being called an individual nurse than a non-local, because I believe I'm just as local as I can be.
I said individual, Ms. Dixon. I didn't.
But it really is, it's bad.
I was just wondering, in representation, about that, and we did have a director of, one of the hospitals on the committee before, and I just,
I'm asking for clarification of the first question. Now, didn't we understand that just as soon as we had approval by GSNA, Committee on Bylaws, it would be circulated in the district meter
Right.
before the November 9th
Right.
meeting?
Right. And,
As it comes back from the GSNA
Yeah.
committee, maybe not like this.
Yeah.
the reason you were late, this just came in Labor Day. And this is a model bylaw in which they state all the way through particular, if I may say so, on your board, that to delete the word alumni or any other organization of any type, to have your elected officers and the chairmen of your sections, and that was a result of the study committee on the registry, trying to make it democratic for everybody.
I'd like to ask, if these 5 meetings we're gonna have are going to be business meetings, or are they going to be meetings where we recognize the nurses, new nurses, or what have you? Here locally, we are, the last few years, there's a lot of our sections who are not organized, and we are never, at our business meeting where we have the nurses here, we do not have business. Therefore, we're not asked to make nominations for state officers. The girls who are not organized on a section level have no way of nominating officers, and I object to not having a business meeting to nominate, where the floor is thrown open to nominate state and national officers, and I don't know if these are gonna be business meetings, or if they're gonna be more or less social meetings.
Well, that was done in March. It was called our attention that the Nurse of the Year prevented that. Everybody was notified in March, sent the papers in which to send us reports. We had 86 reported, and it was thrown open to the floor in March. And every section was contacted, and everyone that got in on time was sent in.
Suggested name.
Yes,
Do you have the date of the November meeting, and the place, and the time?
Well, we verified the date. It's the 19th. You decided on the 19th, but we verified the place.
4:30, this auditorium, November 19th. When these, changes in bylaws as approved and recommended by the state committee will be brought to you for your, vote.
All committees reported, just 3 alumni didn't. Crawford Long, Crawford Long and Emory. 4 did. Grady 1 and St. Joseph's.
We do not have a report of the careers committee, I believe, in the meter. Is a member from that committee here who would like to report? Does not want a report being sent in?
Not at all.
Is Mrs. Belsey here to give a report on the insurance committee? We didn't have a report from this committee for the meter. We had 4 alumni who did not report,
but, if it comes, in the way that it's now planned, the way it's resting in committee before it goes to the House. And, the way it is now, it would not be on a withholding basis for your social security taxes. But now, we don't know just exactly what is going to come out. However, there's been, they did get it through the Senate, Mr. Johnson, like 5 votes, so he called it, different ones, and he got the different senators to change their vote. So he got it passed by the Senate, but it still will have to be passed by the House, and also will have, it's not out of committee yet. We don't know what we will have, but we hope it'll be a good bill.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson. I was told that the Fulton County Medical Society was changing their program for their regular meeting tonight to discuss what is happening in this bill.
It certainly is a controversial bill because it would actually bring in socialized medicine. If it went through as originally planned under King Anderson, and I don't believe any of it.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson. Is there any other members who would like to report on some activities that members would be interested in at this time?
I'd like to, tell this group, be sure and take advantage of their GSNA ballot when it is sent to them in the mail. And, that's one way that they can have their choice of representation. If they will mark it and send it in by the, specified date of
This packet, $66 will be in the mail over the next 2 weeks. State ballot. I think the public health section is planning a parliamentary law workshop. I believe it's the 9th of October. 7th of October, and Mrs. Mamie K. Taylor, all of you know, I believe is the Democratic woman in Georgia, is to be the keynote and the consultant at the workshop. All of you are invited. You may learn a lot that we don't know from registration.
Madam Chair, would you repeat that date, please?
For the workshop, October 7th.
YWCA, wasn't it, from 9?
Yes, YWCA, that's it. And
No
there will be
registration?
No registration, and you can have a Dutch luncheon at YWCA.
Start at 9.
Starting at 9, I believe it's 9 to 3. All right. And if you know Mrs. Mamie K. Taylor, she's quite a important person in Georgia. In Atlanta and Georgia. This is what they do. Natalie Wade, Chair, CSD Board of South.
There were 150 ballots cast with 2 illegal ones. Ms. Rhoda Bright, 15 total. Illegal 2. Bright, 52. Mr. Dixon, 61. Secretary, Ms. Office, 61. Hale, 60 for office. Hale, 41. And Tiller, 12. Sally Clark,
60, Hickey 38, Connie Stark 42, Miss Mary Christian 61, Doris Norley 55, Miss Whitaker 42, Alice Morgan 45, Miss Mahaffey 68, and Stevens 45.
And we're Ann Stevens, that's Ann Stevens.
And M-A-F-C.
That's right.
We advise you more to check.
I'm glad Ralph laughed and laughed.
Got another one of these little duties.
Fix 300.
Thanks.
But I know you run out.
15, I'm pretty sure I got right. 52 for Bryce and 61.
61 sticks.
Oh, that's close.
And 61 for Alvin, 41 for Hale, 12 Tiller, 60 Clark, 38 Hickey, 42 Honeycutt, 61 for you, 55 is Norby, 42 Spooker, 45, 68, 49.
I believe, according to the report of the county, that Mrs. Elizabeth Dixon is the majority for first vice president. Mrs. Jean Alford, the majority for secretary. For director, Ms. Mary Christian, 61. Ms. Sally Park, 60. Mrs. Lois Norby, 55. And for chairman of the committee on nomination, 60, Mrs. Happy, 68. Are there any questions? Might tell you that we had a phone call the next day after the last election, questioning the arithmetic. If you have any questions, I wish you would let us know, ma'am, but after we'll post it to you.
And cause so much confusion.
I didn't say who it
When you first related, there was no change in the election.
What did you want to know?
I move this now, place not five.
I would go move that they be destroyed.
Well, we keep them 1 year. I threw out last year's when I took the ballot box, so we keep them 1 year
I'd
anyhow.
like to ask that the newly elected officers who are here, would you please come down front and let your membership left? See what you got right. Ms. Elizabeth Dixon?
Thank you.
Is Miss Jean Alford here? I don't believe I know her.
She was here.
She was here. Jean Alford, will be our new secretary. Miss Sally Clark.
Welcome home.
Miss Mary Kristen. And, Mrs. Norby, is Ms. Norby still here? And, Mrs.
Just help yourself.
And now, we have a motion that the dog food destroyed, or kept here and then destroyed, what we do? I think that's what we do. Food. Is there a second? I second. All in favor, say aye. Is there any further business?
Well, they were destroyed. The automatic A&A does that. Keeps them 1 year and destroys them. Don't think so. You just keep them a year and that's it.
But thank you for your... If there's no further business, do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
Your backyard.
A good many of our reports are in the meter. The person is Barfield, and his place is not here with financial report, so we had the budget from the registry. We, believe Ms. Bixfield has a report on legislation in the meter. I don't believe there are any recommendations. I know all of us were thrilled at the publicity inside down again tonight on the passage of the $287 million Nurse Freedom Act that was signed by the state to help our causes with this. Like to read Sylvia Porter's column, and I was real pleased with her article in tonight's paper. If you haven't read it, be sure and read it when you go home. Ms. Davis, do you have a report other than in the meeting?
No, I don't. On membership, that is, 1105. Of course, that's a little short from what we expected to do.
Of about 100 members,
Yes.
Then we'll ask Ms. Armstrong to, bring us the report of the nominating committee. The committee's, proposed ballot. Armstrong, Trent. The nominating committee composed of Ms. Carolyn Carter, Ms. Olga Grant, Mark Coleman, Mary Howard, Francis Henry, Ms. Amy Simmons, Ms. Margaret Armstrong, wishes to submit forward the following Sandoval six-year approval. First person will be Ms. Ruth Bright, Ms. Elizabeth Dixon, Ms. Genevieve Jones. For secretary, Ms. Jean Alford, Ms. Marinette Hale, Ms. Jacqueline M. Tillum. For director, Ms. Sally R. Helen Hickey, Stephen F. Honeycutt, Sister Mary Kristen, Ms. Lois H. Nordy, Ms. Margaret Whitcomb. For chairman of the committee on nominations, Ms. Nancy G. Mahaffey, Ms. Annie Mae F. Stevens. Names appearing on this slate are considered to serve if elected.
How many directors are there to be elected?
3, and there's 6 names on
I move that this report be accepted.
there. Is there any discussion? Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. Karen, I guess you have to have some balance printed just in a moment here. I believe Carolyn has a report in the media of public relations and the official publication.
There's 6 AJMs. I have 3 more that came in less than 7.
Committee on Professional Practice, Ms. Wade is here, what's any recommendations?
No, they want to know more about the committee. I think they know how to set it up as a standing committee in the state.
Insurance, Ms. Belton.
We had no report on where all, where I can get it.
Ms. Graves, I believe, has a report on functions of AMA. The report of the study committee, sister, I guess, is the bylaws, it's changing bylaws.
Yes.
Ms. Pope, administrative section. The ACT, sister Ann, had a report.
I mean, what's in the meeting that we will have our first meeting tomorrow, and the problem, of course, is getting people to come. So besides the printed announcement, it's plain that I will call each school, the educational director of the morning of each meeting, and ask if they will allow their instructors to come and see if that does help.
Expected, well, usually does.
We do have a theme for the year, and that is on clinical instruction, and we'd love to be able to carry it through to help the instruction community.
General duty, Martha, you have a report other than June.
No, we will have a meeting, in October to elect the new officers.
The same as Dr.
Written report, no recommendations, and our first meeting is on, this Thursday. We didn't have a forum in August for our annual meeting, so we have a call meeting this Thursday. So that's an afternoon.
Yes. Private duty, Ms. Zerk.
Other than what's in the leader, I'm sorry to report that we lacked one having a forum in our last meeting. So couldn't transact any business.
Didn't put that in the meeting, did you?
No, well, that hadn't been held, that meeting just went in ahead of time. What I was heard about it is because it was supposed to be our annual meeting, and like one having a forum.
Public health, Ms. Oakley.
None other than that we've had a forum and election of officers.
And Ms. Zerk. Report of alumni associations, Ms. Collins. Ms. Cannon Emery. Ms. Hudson, Georgia Baptist.
This one printed in the later.
Ms. Dixon, Grady number 1. Grady number 2, Mrs. Brown.
We have a report in the meeting, and our yearly accomplishment, usually we give our new students come into the school an acquaintance team, but now that our school is being one, I think we'll have to change our aims with our alumni since the school is now integrated, the whole school. So at our first meeting, we attempted to work towards some other aims since the school is integrated, but as yet we haven't come up with anything.
Piedmont, Ms. Kimball. St. Joseph, Ms. Parker.
Our report is not in the meter, but we did have a news item, and most of our activities have been, for the School of Nursing. Then, several times during the last few months, we've gotten out letters, and we've had so much reading here. I had thought to read some of them to you, but if you give me the time, we did have such good response from the letter that I sent out that if you you just let me read one. This nurse says, the letter enclosed is excellent. That means the one that I wrote her with this application. Perhaps a similar newsletter could be sent monthly or quarterly. What do you think of reporters to rotate monthly or quarterly, not only to bring current news for newsletter, but also new ideas for general improvements, stimulation of ideas for alumni association activity in relation to a continuing education program by in-service education type meetings. We can all benefit by better understanding. And we just have stacks of such letters, so we do have some interested nurses. Thank you. All about alumni members.
We all
Lots
get
of them.
alumni tags, but they haven't gotten in yet from A&E.
Can you give us this report Thursday?
Yes.
Since we don't have any right here. Our next item on the agenda is, what is it called? Unfinished business. And, we are to set time and place for the November meeting. We hope to hear from Ms. Watt and her committee regarding our change in bylaws. And we need to have a meeting to vote on the changes in November. And we need your help for a time and place.
I could go to the calendar, and the 26th, I think, is Thanksgiving, so the 19th seems to be your most appropriate day, because your state convention is from the 4th and through the 8th, and then we've got to print the meter after the 4th. After they give it to me, I'll send it airmail and get the meter out to you between then and there. So it's going to, the 19th seems to be on, if it's on a Thursday, an appropriate day. About the only one of that month that you could do it and circulate the minutes.
I suggest that Mr. Wheat over at George and Terry's been contacted for the plates. He says that they read out
Send us
things about
information.
And
But
Bill
that's
Moore
it.
too.
All of the hotels have been calling for.
Yes.
What was, George and Terry?
George and Terry.
Well, would you have you change your bylaws and business meeting with a dinner meeting, a friendship meeting, when you might bring in other people? That's the thing you want to decide, isn't it?
Yes.
Whether you want a dinner meeting, a friendship dinner meeting in addition to your regular business meeting, or what?
It looks like the expedient thing to do this time would be, since we have to have some business, to maybe, if you wanted to, have a dinner or meeting, but have it restricted to membership. Yeah, business after dinner business. Since we need to do this.
And you want to do when you get them to the dinner meeting.
I move that the meeting be, when was the date you suggested? The 19th of November, and it'd be a dinner meeting and restricted to membership. If membership did not want to buy tickets to the dinner, I hope they all would, they could come in for the business meeting.
What time and day did this be?
What time?
You're gonna have a real problem on that too, Miss Wells, having a dinner meeting. A good many of them would like to vote
Yes,
and
sir.
go on, I'm looking at it from a practical standpoint, they may feel that they penalized there, that they have to attend the dinner to be able to vote, and I have an idea that business is going to mean much more to them than
Vote on
Sure
the
is. It's
our
all
bylaws.
fine.
Because you can't leave until December and set up your committees, Christmas.
You're not
and
gonna have any to come to vote on bylaws.
I know, they've been calling in the office about them a great deal, according, that's the reason we asked the postman to get the meter out special,
maybe we better just do away with the dinner this time.
I second that.
I withdraw my motion. I didn't make a motion.
You said maybe.
Well, I'll make it
You said maybe.
I just was talking.
She's thinking out loud.
Oh. I just thought maybe we'd kill two birds with one stone, 'cause we sort of like to get together.
Well, if you want to do that, you could have it at the medical academy and serve a little punch afterwards downstairs, if they want to get together, I mean.
We better charge though, because we sure get low on money.
That's the,
Well, the member, a lot of the membership would feel that they're penalized, and would have to.
you could have a dinner at 6:30, the business meeting at 8.
Can't you better have your meeting at 4:30 in the afternoon?
I withdraw my motion.
I'm not trying to suggest go in, you know, may I get off the record and state this? I think up until last week, I felt like I had it was almost, the whole world on my shoulders there, that it had to be that whatever it was, and then all of a sudden I realized that,
It didn't have to be.
well, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, in other words, you want everything to be perfect and everybody to be happy. And then
Well,
you
that's
realize-
you
Oh, utopia.
Utopia.
And you don't make it real.
I quit trying to do that long years ago.
Whatever you want is all right with me.
Let me make a suggestion.
Come on, Elizabeth.
That with the November meeting, if we have our meeting at 4:30, you gonna have another district meeting this year?
I have to have this to
Have to
circulate.
have this. That if we had, and see what the response is, that we have our business meeting at 4:30, and, have this little clipped thing where you could send in if you wanted to attend the dinner, the
Yeah,
friendship dinner.
that's a good
Then
idea.
you would know how many plans are, and you could go ahead with the friendship dinner after the business meeting, and let those who wanted to
That's right.
visit the
To
friendship dinner.
stay for the friendship.
For that night.
I think that's a good idea.
You make that a motion.
We are.
And that would be strictly for members only?
The business meeting would be for the members only, the dinner, of course, I imagine
Be
would be open.
anybody could have dinner pay for it. Cause you have your business meeting and then you adjourn it, and then you go and your dinner.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any further discussion? Those in favor, please say aye. Contrary, no. None opposed. Are we gonna meet at St. Joseph's for the business and go on to a dinner?
I have the
dinner
business meeting
across
and
the
the dinner
street.
at the same place. But we did that. When we find out how many we're gonna have, or either have the,
Might
if you find that you're not having, any response, that, then,
Are you gonna have to pay to rent a room for the meeting though? And then
if we
another-
don't have, if we, no, and George and Terry says you won't, we won't. But if, what I was thinking, that if we had, if we could have the same space, or have place at one of the, hotels, wherever you're gonna have your dinner, that we could use it as a business meeting, and then have dinner served later. If we find out from our little clipping in the meter that we are not going to have many for the friendship dinner, then we could, make arrangements for a business meeting somewhere else, that the program committee could do whatever's best then.
Well, maybe we better announce later then, after we see what the response is.
Well, if you had it here at St. Joseph's and we decided to have a dinner, why don't you just go over to the heart of Atlanta and have the dinner over there? It'd be
Well, I'm
handy,
gonna
you'd
tell you.
already be parked.
That heart of Atlanta, there's nowhere to eat. I ate over there tonight, and there wasn't nothing.
Well, if it's a special occasion, maybe they.
And it cost me $3 and something.
The Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn's good. But they,
I just think you're gonna have to pay for a meeting, or maybe George and Terry should, but most places are gonna charge you for it.
George and Terry
You
says
get a
they
letter.
won't.
And they won't want you to meet where they're trying to fix it in it.
Well, if we met at 4:30, then they would be adjourned for dinner
Yeah,
time.
if they would let you tie up a room that long. I don't know, we have to
I
pay an
think you're gonna have
exorbitant
some
price for
problems there
advance
trying
to
to,
these places.
plan both meetings without going ahead and sending out the time and place and the cost.
I
Not
believe
many
so,
of them are
too.
going to tell you and send back the clipping without knowing enough about it, that you just gonna have to plan definitely for it and see about your tickets, and somebody to be responsible for those tickets.
I move that we turn this over to the borough.
I agree, I'll second it.
And I withdraw this one.
That's
In your hands, Francis. Have you established the time of the business meeting? 4:30. 4:30.
Is that on the 19th, is that
On the
you?
19th, the 7 p.m., the, coffee hour,
Can lose a lot of money.
that's a long session.
Sure is. That would really be 2 sessions the same day.
Well, why don't you have your November business meeting, get it over with, and then have your friendship done the first week in December?
I think that
And then you'll be in a festive mood then.
I think that would be good.
You want out bylaws,
you must get a
and it'll give a little time. I'm thinking about the time now on getting the notices to the people and getting a response back. It's quite easy to say so little, you know about that, distributing tickets.
Well, I think that would leave this up to the company to establish the time, which actually is gonna cost
Time and place.
2 days.
But you do
Just
want to.
November the 19th. Yeah, November the 19th is the date that was voted on.
Let's have it
get through
with
For the business.
before Flash,
and then we enjoy the village.
Freedom of the hope. Do you feel like thinking about suggestions for GSNA committees? Or would you like just like we've always done things to GSNA, the committee, this district names? That's what you know, Dave. All right, there's 2 things in the names here, we can send on over that. We have to have this before the state meeting, before the meeting.
I move that this be postponed to the post-annual fifth district meeting. And you
Well,
set up
you
committees
would have
for
already
that.
had your committee selected then, wouldn't you, and
September. We don't meet till November.
If we have our post.
well, now wait a minute, let me tell you, if you, I'm not going on the South Bend, anything like that. You're going to set up your committees, aren't you, after your convention?
November.
September.
We set up ours after.
Yeah,
the
Well,
September.
we're not gonna set up ours until after the bylaws are changed in November. Now, Ms.
Oh, it
Watts
will,
said we may do that, so they're not gonna have a call committee, that's already been established. They will
This
not
won't
have.
have anything to do, these bylaws won't have anything to do with setting up committees.
Well, they wanted that register committee, that, those
Well,
bylaws
the board
changed
can,
from
of
there.
course, do anything with the register, but your bylaws state that you,
That's
The
right, that
executive board
registry committee does
Well,
have to be
needs-
changed.
after
to wait for
after
that.
your.
You got to wait until that's changed, until your bylaws are changed, and setting those up, and Ms. Watts said it does not necessarily mean that you have to do it immediately, just go ahead and get it done before the end of the year. We're both going to New York, Garland's going, and I'm going on the 5th and the 6th. Anyhow, we will not have another meeting until after you had your November meeting, make it that way. So consequently, if you want any suggestions for the GSNA board or set up for their committees,
You
you
mean
need
the
to do
board
it
won't meet
tonight.
after the
No.
September?
Okay.
Not until after November. And that was clear with Ms. Watts too, at that date. Until after the bylaws are changed, the committees will not be set up.
Okay.
And if we make suggestions to the state, we'll have to make it tonight.
Well, you had a good slate last year.
It was
You already
like-
told me.
yeah.
They're all good people, all the. I should be making that a
So
law then.
this was our suggestions last year, GSNA committee.
Are those accepted?
Those did last year.
They did last year.
We'll have to still send out, notices to them.
Why don't you ask the alumnus to send in the suggested list?
Sections.
That'll be the last thing they'll get to do, so might.
I still do not have reports, annual reports from 4 alumni. I need one from Crawford Long, Emory, graded number 1, and one other.
St. Joseph.
Well, I was
They
sure.
know.
And, you ask them, you tell them you want it printed in the meter, so that's why so often, Ms. Hudson, they come in too late. You give them a deadline, just like making those nominations, for your state ballot. And they're late.
Well, you wanna know, for official publication, Miss Cherry Wells, Ms. Lorraine Holland. Ms. Cherry Wells, will you consent to serve again? Bylaws, Francis Off, Esther Watts, Myrtle Common, Cherry Wells. Finance, Lucy Mace, Margaret Wicker, Francis Haynes. Legislation, Emily Zerp, Edith Honeycutt, Alan Litchfield, Alice Morgan, Jean Roach, Patricia Cannon, Evangeline Lane, Marilyn Rosecrans, Dana Hudson, Jamie Coker. Headquarters, Lucy Mace, Carolyn Atkins, Colleen English. Register, Maxine Hensley, Helen Graves, Ann Stevens, and Jamie Coker. Bulletin, Alice Budd, Genevieve Jones, Inez Stanley, Elsie Reed, Cynthia Mallard. Careers, Wilma Green, Francis Hammond, Evelyn Monroe, Gladys Garland, Geneva Boykin, Mary Sturgill. Civil Defense, Marie Jones, Catherine Fitzpatrick, Essie Lindsay. Group Insurance, Oprah Hopkins, E. Louise Grant, Marion Hale, Alma Tompkins, Merle Lott, Natalie Wade, Margaret Boliker, Ruth Reed. Memorial, Florence Beasley, Myra Barnum. Public Relations and Membership, Elizabeth Langford, Mayor Schaefer, Genevieve Garrett.
I move that we contact these people and ask that they consent to serve if appointed.
I second the motion. These all sound like right good people to me. I think they do a good job with anything they have asked to do. Does this meet with the agreement of everybody?
That's for state.
State committee.
State committee.
We'd automatically have to send out and get that consent to serve.
Okay then. This completes the business of the evening. Ms. Public Host, can I make one announcement? Last year at the convention, the Public Health Section voted to have a parliamentary workshop. A workshop on parliamentary procedure. We are having that workshop October the 7th at the YWCA on Edgewood Avenue from 9:30 to 3:30. We would like to invite any group that would like to come. There'll be a Dutch luncheon in the Y for $1.75 each. I know that a lot of people here that know a lot about parliamentary procedure. We sure would like to have you come anyway.
October the
Oh,
seventh.
It's the right, 9:30 to 3:30. And, Mamie Taylor from, a consultant from the Georgia Power Company will be the keynote speaker, and then there'll be some other plans for the afternoon. But if you would like to come, just be with us, we'd be delighted to have you.
What day is that?
Well,
What day is that?
October the 7th, 9:30 to 3:30, it's on a Wednesday. If you all, if the ones here can't come, you just tell the other people in your sections or alumnus if they'd like to come, we'd be delighted to have you come. There'll be no registration fee.
English, would any students be invited?
We just love to have the students. I don't think there's anybody sweeter than students.
9:30 to 3:30.
We just love to have them.
Thank you.
What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I don't,
Mamie K. Taylor.
I don't really.
Speaker.
About
Mamie
72.
K. Taylor.
It's along that close to the Hurt Building.
Are we gonna have the report on legislation?
9:30 to 3:30.
On legislation?
There's a report, in the meter, I believe.
Where?
And there's no recommendation.
I see the history of, committee on careers, but I don't see.
On
on
page
legislation.
4. Page 4, Mrs.
Of all of them, except for
Mahaffey.
the study committee and the register bag.
Right,
Yeah, the second column on 4, top of the page, legislative.
Oh, yeah.
In case any of you wonder why some were not classified, or when we went press on Wednesday, we didn't have a great number of them that came, several of them that came in later. And when we added those to them after we didn't get from the bylaws to go in there, they had to just attach them without classification.
We might, mention the article that came out in the evening paper on the scholarships on legislation. You mentioned that.
Still reporters on.
Yes, because that's something that is very urgent for us to get started on as soon as it's signed into law, and I believe the president signed it. Did that
It
say?
has been signed.
But Ms. Hudson, isn't it true that if they don't vote it here on November 3rd, they still won't get it in
No,
Georgia? Is that true?
no.
That's not it?
No, what she has there is the federal legislation.
Well, they still want you to vote to set up that commission in Georgia, don't they?
Yes, but the Georgia Commission is to be voted on November 3rd.
But we had 2 items in the elected items. They asked all members to vote.
We'll have items in the papers, from GSNA on this, legislation after the primary.
Guards.
If there are no other announcements, do I hear a motion that we adjourn? I do.
I always try to put the names on them. It may come out too loud. 64. The following is a recording of the annual business meeting held at St. Joseph's, 4:30, September the 10th, 1964.
Will the 1964 annual meeting of this district Georgia State Nurses Association please come to order? At this time, we'll open our meeting with prayer by our chaplain, Ms. Hanks. Shall we stand, please? We're just so happy to see so many out this afternoon. It certainly is encouraging to your officers and to those who are on the program to have such a good representation of our membership. I wonder if this, at this time, if we can't have our roll call by section as secretary.
EACP.
Would you please stand up again, those of you who sat down? EACT section, please.
General duty. General duty. Five general duties. Occupational health. Private duty. Let's start up there with you in the back and count down, and you sit as you call your number as you sit down up there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52.
Public health? Would you start up there and let's count through, please? Ms. Hanson.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21,
Nursing service, and that's safe. Are there any others present that we haven't called that you did not fit into a section? If you have, if we do have any, please stand. have 107 present.
I think this is a fine turnout. A quorum. At this time, we would like for you to approve the minutes that were circulated to you in the meter in March. Now, if you can remember that far back, you can do better than I can, but maybe when you read the meter in March, you might have noticed some discrepancy or some change. Do I hear a motion that these be approved as circulated?
Move these minutes be approved as circulated.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. The minutes are approved and will be recorded.
I move that the order of the day be changed, having the report of the Committee on Nominations and the appointment of tellers by the President and the election of officers at this time. After that, we will fall back into the regular agenda by having the President's address and go on with our business meeting.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. So ordered. At this time, we will have the report of the nominating committee. Ms. Armstrong, the chairman, is out of town, and she has asked Mrs. Agnes Simmons, who is a member of the committee, to give the report.
The following proposed ballot was submitted by the Committee on Nominations to the Executive Board on September 8th and to the General Assembly today. And it is as follows. For First Vice President, Ms. Ruth Price, Ms. Elizabeth Dixon, and Mrs. Genevieve Jones. For Secretary, Mrs. Jean Alford, Ms. Marion F. Hale, and Ms. Jacqueline S. Tiller. For Directors, three to be elected, Ms. Sally Clark, Ms. Helen Hickey, Ms. Edith F. Honeycutt, Sister Mary Kristen, Ms. Lois Norley, Ms. Margaret Wicker. For Chairman, Committee on Nominations, Mrs. Nancy G. Mahaffey and Mrs. Annie Mae F. Stevens. This is submitted by the committee members, Mrs. Olga Brown, Ms. Margaret Culver, Ms. Marion Howard, Ms. Frances Hambry, Mrs. Center, and Mrs. Margaret Armstrong, the chairman.
You've heard the reading of the ballot as presented by the nominating committee. I wonder if there are any additions you'd like to make at this time.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Alice Morgan for director. I nominated her once before, but we had some others considered, and therefore she thought there'd be too many names. But I
Mrs. Natalie Wade. Emma Zerk. And, Emily Murphy, Holly English, Alice Steele, Margaret Parker, and Lynn Wright. If you people will get with Ms. Wade up here, and, she will assign you where she wants you to go. And I think if we get a lot of checks,
Ms. Thurman, you can stay over there, maybe, and have someone over there.
be sure that these ballots are initialed. By the tell them to be initialed before you put them in the box. And put them in the box. May I remind you, please, to strike through the name of Genevieve Jones. Add to the list of directors, Alice Morgan. Unless these changes are made on your ballot, they will be thrown out as illegal and cannot be counted.
Yes, that's what, this is the same time we had last. I was gonna try to stay neutral. Let me swap. I messed this one up. I rubbed out the name I wanted to vote for. Gotta put these in your box. Yeah, let me find that. Oh, let me turn this off. That's...
At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Hennett, our secretary, to take the chair while opportunity to express the high regard and appreciation for our officers who have worked tirelessly, for our many committees, the chairman of committees and members, for Carolyn Atkins, our faithful, tireless executive secretary, and all you members for the loyal spirit of dedication and devotion to duty existing in our organization. Gratitude is also expressed to the Sisters of St. Joseph for the use of the beautiful boardroom for meetings of the district board. It's really an inspiration to our problems when we try to solve them in this beautiful room. And also the comfortable, spacious auditoriums that we can use here for our district meetings. In Dr. Norman Welch's address to the American Medical Association House of Delegates, after being installed as the association's president, he referred to a favorite pastime of his and his colleagues as, and I quote, marveling at medicine in retrospect. Most of the medicine, he adds, now practiced, their professors never taught them. Not that they were not good professors, just as they could not teach what did not exist, and the things that made medicine modern simply were not known a generation ago. As I read Dr. Welch's comment and considered how closely related our own profession and his as correlated into one, I could not help but again agree with Barbara Dolan's statement, our own national president, in her address at the American Nurses Association convention in June, and I quote Margaret's comment, "We must proceed quickly, steadily, and swiftly to build nursing into a true profession with its special realm of knowledge and its special realm of authority." Again, quoting from Dr. Welch, "We have come far in the past quarter of the century. We have come far in the past year. But we have not come so far that we cannot help but marvel at how much is yet to be explored." End of quotation. Our own ability to change ranks equal in accordance with the fact that medicine and nursing has changed. The freedom to adapt is more precious, and the right to responsibility more important than we ever dreamed. The Nurse Training Act of 1964, calling for $294 million for construction, traineeships, loans, and funds for improvement of education programs, is now a reality. Being signed into law by President Johnson, many of you probably saw the statement in Saturday night's paper, as well as Sylvia Porter's article Tuesday. Critical nurse shortage attacked by this new law. President Johnson called this truly a notable achievement. We are making progress. 85 million of the 294 million will be used to set up a student loan program for nurses. This should not only attract students, but retain nurses in the profession. 3 business meetings of the association, January, March, and May this year. 3 special program meetings of the district, including our friendship dinner in November, and 2 honoring nurses, 1 the Nurse of the Year, and 2 the new graduates. Then if you waded through the reports and counted the meetings of the sections, you will notice that 28 section meetings were reported. Clinical conferences geared to the latest in nursing trends and techniques for clinical practice in the particular occupational group. Committee and section chairmen have played a vital role in the conduct of these activities, implementing the district's goals and interests. You must all share my special satisfaction of the conduct of district programs and accomplishments. We believe the new standards of excellence that have come to symbolize the profession's insistence of vigorous improvement and a better nursing care for our patients. This is the aim of nurses with similar occupational interests meeting as sections in the district organization. Members, particularly delegates attending the American Nurses Association convention, will recall the decision made for newly graduate and licensed nurses to enjoy full membership for 1 year and a half, the regular membership dues. 411 courtesy membership cards were awarded to 1964 graduates in the 5th District area at the awards program in July. This was a most impressive and rewarding district meeting. Since most everyone likes a bargain, these young nurses with financial obligations just getting started in the profession need not postpone the benefits of belonging to her professional organization. 5th District received in certificate form appreciation and recognition of merit for participation in the Saban Oral Sunday program sponsored by the Fulton County Medical Society. This is the certificate awarding your district organization. I need not repeat, 5th District has passed another busy but fruitful year. I believe in the continued advancement of nursing in our area. Thank you, Madam President. I'm sure the membership will like this time to express to our president our deep concern and appreciation for her leadership. Thank you. Our agenda calls next for the annual report of the secretary.
We have a lot of minutes, I believe you said.
Miss Lucy Mace, our treasurer, is out of town. We have 2 budgets to approve at this time. I believe Ms. Dixon will give the budget for the district and Sister Christian the registry budget.
You want the monthly budgets, monthly reports, please? For the 5th District Nurses Association, the Treasury report from August 1964 brought forward from July $997.35. Total receipts $2,141, making a total on deposit $3,138.35. Total disbursements $774.60. cents. Clearing the bank, $2,364.19. Checks out, $40.33. Agrees with the bank statement, $2,404.52. Obligations to the government, withholding and Social Security totals $150.84, and the state of Georgia withholding tax makes a total of $154.68. I move that this report be placed on file.
Those in favor, please say aye. Contrary, no. Motion is carried.
And the report for the Nurses Professional Registry financial report for June brought forward, August. Brought forward July the 1st, 1964, $8,201.51. Receipts, $772.46, making a total of $8,973.97 on deposit. Total disbursements, $2,513.05. Checks out, $1,842.25, making a balance of $7,981.01. Outstanding checks was $1,842.25, making clear in the bank and agreeing with the bank statement, $6,138.75. I move that this report be placed on file.
This is the report of the professional registry for July. Is there a second? Discussion. Those in favor, please say aye. Contrary, no. Motion is carried.
1965 budget for the 5th District. Rent, $762. Telephone, $462.50. Printing district meter, $850. Scheduled cards for meeting dates, $60. Bulk mailing fee, $20. Audit, $120. Postage, $600. Legal counsel, $200. Salary, $5,400. Office supplies and secretarial service, $600. Employer's salary, Social Security tax, $174. Insurance, bond, treasurer and executive secretary is $140. Answering Atlanta, $246. City and county tax for $40. Rent and on safety deposit box, $550. Flowers, $150. Section expense, 10 cents per member, $120 plus $15 per section. Bylaws printed, $500. Convention expense, president and executive secretary,